We're gonna make a bin because the shop needs bins, boxes, metal boxes. Let me show you how to make it. So, I cut an oversized piece of metal from the roll of sheet metal, and we're actually going to just use the entire width of it, 17.5 inches, as a width that we actually need to use. What I need is 17.5 by 36 inches. 17.5 by 36 inch rectangle, square, precise, within a 16th of an inch, precise. And then, if that's actually precise, you should measure 11.5 inches. 11.5 inches. Mark it. Put a line right there. 11.5 inches from the other side. 11.5 inches from the other side. Mark it, put a line on it. You can see the lines. Take a look. See the lines? Can you see it? Now, we're going to draw a 1/2 inch offset line all around the perimeter. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to mark a couple 1/2 inch marks. Okay, made my marks, 1/2 inch from the outside. Find something straight, like a framing square. I'll mark that line. Let's take a look. See how we have a 1/2 inch line right along the edge. And this is our fold mark. That was 11.5 inches in. See that? That's what it should look like. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to see where these cross. We're going to put a line right 45 degrees from where those lines cross. See over here? Putting another bit right like that. This line we just made, we're going to cut that little corner off on the foot shear. And remember, only one person should use the foot shear at a time, because it's dangerous. Sheet metal, you gotta be precise. See how we cut those little corners off? So now, we gotta get some sheet metal shears. Let's go find some sheet metal shears. In the tin snip drawer, labeled. Look, here is a tin snip. I want to put a little V there, 90-degree V, right there. See that? That's what we're looking for. So, this is what it looks like. We got our corner trimmed off, and we have our little V. This is that, right? Little V, corners trimmed. Okay, now we are ready to use the sheet metal brake. This is going to be a hem. This is going to be a 90-degree fold. This side's hemmed. We'll smash it down on the vise to make it tight. These other sides have to also be folded. Length, we're not going to fold it all the way. We're going to fold it to 90 degrees. See, like that. It looks like this. Hem, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. All right. Now, you gotta fold it here and here. Now we gotta make some sides for it, as well as clamp these down on the vise to make them tight. My plan that I drew for how wide this should be said like 12 and 7/8, about 1/8 of an inch less than what this dimension is. However, you should actually measure the actual piece in case something got a little off. Because if it got a little off, that original measurement may not work. So let's measure it. Yep. Let's measure it here. What do we got? Pretty good on there. You know what? I'm just a little bit under. Just a little bit under 13. So I'm going to adjust my dimension. And I'm going to say 12 3/4. That's how wide this panel is going to be by 11 plus our hem, so 11.5. Okay? Not a foot shear, but a regular cordless shear. Always cut a little extra. Always cut a little extra. Be careful. Maybe wear some gloves. You'll notice this is not straight. We're going to make it straight. How do we make it straight? We're going to cut a little bit off to make it square. Put the foot shear. Okay? I make it super flat against this fence right here, which will make it square. Not at an angle like that, but flat. Only one person on the foot shear. I'm going to square both sides while I'm at it. Okay. So I need 11.5 by 12 3/4. Only do layout and cutting on one at a time. Don't lay out a whole bunch because your dimensions will get off as you go and as you cut. Don't try to catch the sheet metal behind it. Don't try to catch the sheet metal. Keep your hands away from the blade. I'm going to use this as a guide, as a template. Now we have 17.5 by 11.5 rectangles, 2 of them. It's not the right size yet. You need 11.5 by 12 3/4. Let's measure 12 3/4. Yeah, see that? See how it's about a ½ inch too tall? Gotta put a hem on it. It's always a good idea to mark directly off the material you're working on, if you can, and not use a tape measure. So I can just mark it right here. When you put a mark right on the edge, you actually don't have to draw the whole line. So it's not sharp. Other side. See that? See that? Does it work? It works. All right. Let's make this hem nice and tight. See the difference there? Nice and tight hem. Okay. And now we're going to rivet. We're going to rivet those parts together. What do we need to rivet? We need a rivet gun, we need rivets. We need a drill. We need an 1/8" drill bit. Let's see if we can find any of those. I also need something to drill against, like wood. Look, I found some wood and some clamps. Put the ham side inside the box, not outside the box, inside the box. Look at that. Look how nice that is. It pays off to be precise. And square. Okay. Make sure you tie hair back and close. Make sure you keep the drill bit straight up and down. Make sure you don't wiggle the drill bit. These little 1/8" drill bits like to break really easily. Only do one rivet at a time, otherwise it'll get out of alignment. Watch your fingers, because if drill bits break, it'll really hurt. One hole at a time. I'll put the rivet through both pieces of metal. Make sure the pieces of metal are super tight. We're going to find a rivet gun. We're going to squeeze it. Have to squeeze it a few times. It'll break. Now we got a rivet right there. So put a few rivets on each side. At least 3. Let's do another one. Make sure everything's super tight. What do I mean by super tight? What do I mean by super tight? What I mean is that this metal is sitting on the bottom here. Tight, not up. Tight. This metal here is not out like that, it's tight. Everything is tight. So as you hold it tight, make sure your hand is out of the way of the drill bit, because if it breaks, it'll hurt you. Watch your finger. There's a scar right there, because I was holding metal and I drilled through the web of my finger. It's not fun. Okay, to the other side now. This is a very useful sized box for a lot of different things. We made a box. Now what you'll do next is you'll rivet all the sides. So we'll put one in the center now. We have now a finished box. A finished box. Look at that. It's a finished box. All the edges are not far off. They're within tolerance. Within tolerance. Within tolerance. Precision is important in sheet metal work.